Good afternoon and welcome to Brewing with Scott Leffler. This is episode number 5, I believe, and I'm using a different broadcaster, still on Ustream.tv, but a different version of the broadcaster to see if we can't do things a little more fun. And the chat is enabled today. You can chat messages to me right on Ustream.tv, or you can send me questions via Twitter at Scott Leffler. Now, I'm done trying to overlay text. The other day I was like, here, there's text right here, and if you go right there, you can do the thing with the, and there was no text. So I'm done trying to do text in the show unless I come up with a new way of actually streaming the show. I'm not going to do text, not on Ustream at least, because I can't figure it out. And actually with the new streamer, the one that I'm using right now, it doesn't even allow text. But one thing it does do is it allows polls. So this is kind of fun. If there are, if you're watching the show live, you can vote in the poll, and it might save the poll with the show, so you can still vote in the poll afterward. I'm not sure. I'm finding out new things. I'm having fun. So this is Brewing with Scott Leffler, not a show about beer. There's nothing to do with beer today. I'm really sorry if that disappoints you in some way or another, but no beer. Although, actually, no, I'm lying. Well, kind of lying. Not lying. I was inaccurate. There is coffee. Still brewing coffee. Every day. Actually, I'm on my second pot of coffee today. Community Beer Works on Twitter decided to start following me. I don't know if that has anything to do with Brewing with Scott Leffler or not, but to Community Beer Works on Twitter, hi, how you doing? Nice to meet you. All right, so I have some things that I want to talk about today. I want to talk about Obama's poll numbers being downgraded. I want to talk about Mitt Romney and his foreign policy, like really tasty foot. I want to talk about Sheldon Silver and what an idiot he is. I want to talk about Mark Zuckerberg and, well, we'll get to Mark Zuckerberg. I don't want to give away too much with that. And I want to talk about the guy that hugged Obama, the pizza guy that hugged Obama. I want to talk about that. So, a lot of things to talk about today. Today's show will probably be just a little longer than usual. We've been running about 15 minutes. Probably go about 20, 25 today. I don't know. We'll see. Have fun. Watch. And please feel free to tweet me at Scott Leffler right on Twitter. And tune in when I say vote in the poll. Please vote in the poll. All right. So very, very quickly or briefly, if you will, Obama's poll numbers. It was said after the convention that he may have as much to an 8 to 10 point bounce in the poll numbers. Now Gallup is saying it's about 3. It's a pretty big difference. No word from Nate Silver yet on what that means. My question to you, and this is our poll question for the day, is did the convention have any bearing whatsoever on who you're going to vote for? I just started the poll. Did I just start the poll? Yes, I just started the poll. And if you go to Ustream.tv to watch the show, you should be able to see right there that there's a poll. I'm not exactly sure where it shows up, to be completely honest with you, but it claims that there's a poll. So hopefully the poll works better than the text worked the other day because I couldn't get the text to work. So, question. Did the convention change your mind at all? Did you watch the Republican convention and go, wow, I like that Romney guy? And watch the Democratic convention and go, no, he's horrible. Or vice versa? Did you go in thinking one thing and come out thinking something completely different? That's pretty much what I want to know. I have a feeling no. I have a feeling that people went into the conventions and then came back out pretty much solidifying their preconceptions. I think that's what we tend to do. I think most of us know early on who we want to vote for, what we like about them, and then we wait for things to happen throughout the campaign that confirms our suspicions. And the things that don't go along with what we previously believed, we ignore those things because they're not important. So Obama's bounce been downgraded from a woohoo down to a whatever. All right, did you know, broadcasting here in the state of New York, I assume most people watching / listening / participating are either in the Buffalo area or from the Buffalo area, and that's how you found out about me. My expectation is that that will continue for a while. However, my plan is to grow this show over time and hopefully not just be, in the Buffalo area, but maybe have somebody in Albuquerque watching or I don't know, Columbus, Ohio. Shout out, Ohio. Wherever. My hope is that this will expand beyond the current situation. Coffee. But I live in the state of New York, and the Republican and Democratic, for that matter, but most importantly, the Republican primary is tomorrow. Now, the primary should have been Tuesday, because primaries are always Tuesdays. Elections are on Tuesdays, right? This is America. We have elections on Tuesdays. But they decided to move the election to tomorrow so that we didn't have the election on September 11th in a means of having a politics-free day. Now, you may have seen in the news a lot of reports that 9/11 was politics-free. The real heavy, ugly partisanship was pretty much avoided, which I think has got to be a good thing, right? But one of the things that they did was the 3 men in a room. I assume it had to be that. If you're not in New York, we talk about the 3 men in a room. It's the Speaker of the Assembly, Sheldon Silver, the Senate Majority Leader, whose name escapes me right now, but I can see him. He's ugly. He's not attractive. Never is. The Senate Majority Leader is always unattractive. And the Governor, currently Andrew Cuomo. They come together and they pretty much make every decision important for New York State. And then they go to their respective assemblies and say, hey, this is what we're going to do. So the 3 men in a room decided, politics-free day, we're not going to have the election on Tuesday, September 11th. So good for them, I guess, right? Except New York State Assembly Speaker Sheldon Silver held a fundraiser yesterday. Not only did Shelley Silver hold a fundraiser, he held it in Manhattan. Yeah, the cash grab was held at a Midtown restaurant. It was for Grace Meng, and she's running for Congress. Now, Silver said that he didn't think there was a problem with it, and this is a quote from him. This was in the Daily News, I think is where I got this story. Daily News, I'm sorry if I forget. I think that was where I got it from, though. Anyway, here the quote is, there's nothing inappropriate. I think it's about the future. Now, to hold a fundraiser on September 11th, when they specifically, like, here's the deal. Had they not specifically put aside September 11th as being a non-political day, I could say, all right, well, it's just another day. But it's not just another day. It's September frickin' 11th. And they purposely postponed the elections, the elections, in order to, like, prevent something like this from happening. But Shelley Silver's like, hey, man, my peeps need some cash. I might have some fundraisers. Sheldon Silver, you're an ass. That's really all I can say about that. I can't imagine that anybody is going to disagree with me, right? So, anyway. By the way, don't forget to vote tomorrow if you are a registered voter here in the state of New York. Now, I can't vote because I am a card-carrying libertarian, and we're lucky we can get 1 person on the ballot, much less 2, so we have no primary. Mitt Romney last night came out and condemned the Obama administration for failing to properly react to the attacks in Libya and Egypt, which killed the U.S. ambassador and 3 other diplomats. Did you hear about this? All right, so I asked you, did you hear about this, but you can't answer me. Well, you can. You can tweet me. Tweet me at Scott Leffler. In fact, please tweet me at Scott Leffler. To those of you without Twitter, you right there, you without the Twitter, get Twitter. It doesn't cost anything. It's on the internet. You obviously have the internet because you're watching the show. Get yourself a Twitter. And then do me a favor and tweet me at Scott Leffler. Be like, yo, Scott, what up? How you doing? Love the show. Peace. Or whatever it is the kids do these days. So Mitt Romney has condemned the Obama administration for failing to properly react to the attacks in Libya and Egypt yesterday, which, by the way, killed a U.S. ambassador and 3 other diplomats. Romney said the administration's first reaction was to apologize to the attackers. Now, apparently what happened is an Egyptian consulate condemned a... All right, here... One of the theories, there are many theories about why the attacks happened. One of the theories is that some Muslims were upset because there was a movie that was released which shows Muhammad having sex. The Prophet Muhammad, of course, obviously a big deal in the Muslim community. And there's no pictures of Muhammad. Like, he's that reverent. So there's certainly no movies with the Prophet Muhammad. Although I guess he's just Muhammad to them, right? Like, to me, he's the prophet. I don't know. If you're Muslim, let me know how this works, because I really don't know. Anyway, long story short, the Prophet Muhammad was allegedly in this picture, in this movie, shown having sex, and people got upset about it. So this Egyptian consulate condemned the movie and said, we should be better than that. There's no reason we should be making this sort of a movie. The Egyptian consulate is an American diplomat, if you will. So Mitt Romney said, oh, the first thing Obama does is apologize. Now, first of all, one, that's not Obama. It's the Egyptian consulate, who, yes, does work for the president, but really? Two, Mitt Romney, this is really where you're at? Like, the first thing you're going to do is criticize the president for something that someone in his administration did. Now, the president, the actual president, the administration's first reaction was to condemn the bombing. That was the first thing that we did. However, let's go back to the Egyptian consulate and say, you know what? Maybe he's not that crazy. Maybe, in fact, he has a point. Maybe the Egyptian consulate should be listened to, because maybe we should be a little more sensitive. If we want people not to hate us, we should not be such dicks. There's really no other way for me to say that. We shouldn't be such dicks if we want people to like us. If we're going to be all shock and roll, then expect that bad things might happen. Now, does this mean that the bad things are okay? No! Terrorism is terrorism, and assholes are assholes, and you can't do that sort of thing. But understand that it happens. Understand that if you're walking down the street and you trip someone, they might punch you in the face. The punching in the face is bad. The tripping itself is still bad too. Let's take it away from violence. If you're in a restaurant and you see someone that you know and don't like, and you scream across the restaurant, hey, blankety blank, I hate you and your moms. That guy might come over to the table and punch you in the face. Would he be right? No. But I can understand why it happens. My main problem here is that Mitt Romney, first of all, and every time that he's had an opportunity to jump in when it comes to foreign policy, he's jumped in poorly and wrongly and said just stupid things. But my main problem is that Mitt Romney is just about saber rattling. Like, all right, so they attacked us, so the first thing that we're going to do there is we're going to go over there, we're going to punch them in the face, we're going to... And WWE wrestling, we did that. We did that. We had George W. Bush. We got here. We don't want to be here anymore. One of the reasons that Barack Obama was elected was because we needed a kinder, gentler, more compassionate president than the one we had before. That's one of the reasons. So, look, really, if your goal in life is for us to run around to the rest of the world and, like, steal people's lunch money, then Mitt Romney's your guy. And vote for Mitt Romney twice if you can. I personally don't think it's a good idea, but that's just me. Again, that doesn't mean that I support Obama, because I don't. But between the two, Obama is the lesser of the evils. Still evil, but the lesser of the evils. All right, so yesterday, Mark Zuckerberg, the Facebook guy, you saw him in the movie probably, right? Mark Zuckerberg had his first press event since Facebook stock went public. Basically in the press event, he was like, hey, yeah, so like, I know our stock plummeted and stuff, but like, Facebook is great and blah, 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 and don't I look good in this hoodie? So anyway, so he was like, well, don't I look good in this hoodie? He did this. And some people happen to notice that, where's his wedding ring? Oh no. Craig Kennelly of the Huffington Post, formerly of the Tonawanda News, I might add. For those of you who are in the Buffalo area, Craig Kennelly was at one point an intern with the Tonawanda News. If you don't know who Craig Kennelly is, you should. He's on Twitter. He's C-K-A-N-A-L. So C-Canal, if you will. Craig Kennelly. He wrote this piece in the Huffington Post saying, oh my God, everyone was all at Twitter because where's Mark Zuckerberg's ring? Zuck, for those of you who don't know, got married in May, and like the fact that he isn't wearing a ring apparently was a big deal to some people, including Craig. So, of course, I don't know Craig personally, but we tweet back and forth. We're Facebook friends, you know, whatever. It's not like we have lunch when he's in town. Although, Craig, you're always welcome to stop by and do an episode of Brewing with me next time you're in Buffalo. We'll have some wings, some beer, whatever, and you're welcome by for an episode. But, so, we're Twitter friends amongst other things. On Twitter, he's CKanal, CKANAL. So I tweeted him when I saw this story, and I was like, and my tweet said, "Come on, CKanal, this is not news." And it has a link to his story. He responded because one of the things that is great about Craig Canale is that he responds. He always responds. He's a pretty big deal to certain people on the interwebs, especially to Craig Canale. But he still responds. He's got like a bazillion friends and all that fun stuff. Still responds. So he responded at Scott Leffler, news can be conversation too. This is sidebar to our comprehensive coverage. Much more on TechCrunch.com if you'd like. And there was. Obviously, Craig was told to do the Where's the Ring story, but there was legitimate Facebook Mark Zuckerberg in his hoodie. Although I don't think he was wearing a hoodie yesterday, was he? That's the real story, Craig. Forget the ring. He wasn't wearing a hoodie. Somebody get on that. When I do the show, I don't know if you can hear it or not, but when I drink coffee normally, I drink it silently. But when I do the show, and this was true when I did my radio show too, I always make sure to make a sound. I don't know why I do that. One of these things that when I get a psychologist, I will ask them. Anyway, back to Mark Zuckerberg. I don't know whether he's married, whether he's like split. I don't know what the deal is. But Zuck's relationship status on Facebook still says married. So, sorry, ladies. Last item for the day. Speaking of Facebook, I mentioned yesterday this guy that owns the pizzeria in Florida, although I don't know that he was from Florida. I didn't know that he was from Florida yesterday. I just mentioned the guy who owns a pizzeria. Barack Obama came and visit, and the guy's like, "Oh, the president, big bear hug, etc." Big Apple Pizza is the name of the place. They're being boycotted because the owner dared to hug the president. Now, the owner's gotten all these reviews on Yelp that basically are like, "Oh, this is horrible pizza, and no one ever liked it, and the guy loves Obama, and so his restaurant should close." Because that is the free market that the Republicans seem to be so fond of. The free market of make sure that everyone you disagree with dies. That's pretty much their thought on economy here. The owner, however, this boycott that they're trying has backlashed a bit because the owner has gotten a lot more support than opposition. In fact, on the Yelp reviews, he only had a handful of Yelp reviews a few days ago. Now he has like 3,000. For every negative one, for every 1-star review, there are 60 5-star reviews. So, yeah, the Democrats came to the aid because the Democrats are good at the internet. Democrats are good. I don't know if you figure that out or not, but Democrats are good at the internet. And the owner is apparently a Republican, or at least so he says. Scott J. Van Duzer posted on his personal Facebook Tuesday night, quote, "Back home, we'll be back in the store tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Come get a hug." So if you're near Big Apple Pizza, go get a hug. You can hug the guy that hugged the president, and then you will be moderately famous in your own head. There are, of course, still idiots, though. Juan Hernandez of California. Now, this pizzeria is in Florida. Pizzeria's in Florida. Juan Hernandez of California posted on Big Apple Pizza's Facebook fan page or business page or whatever you want to call it. Quote, "I had a fingernail in my pizza. I won't go there again when I'm on vacation." Yeah. Conveniently, this guy from California was on vacation in Florida 2 days after the president was there and had a fingernail in his pizza. I'm thinking that might be false. I'm thinking maybe he wasn't really there. I'm just saying. I don't know. Now, a lot of people are saying that the whole thing is staged, that Van Duzer is not really Republican, and that it wasn't spontaneous. and pretty much that the Secret Service would have shot him immediately had he like ran up and gone to pick up the president. That may be true. Those are valid claims. Maybe it was staged. I don't know. But even if it was staged, is that any reason to start a nationwide boycott of a small-time pizzeria in Florida? Probably not. I'm just thinking no. But unfortunately, this is what politics has come to. Politics has come. You can't just disagree with someone. You have to destroy them. Actually, I got a political mailer today. I didn't get it. I was forwarded it because people forward me things. They're like, hey, that Scott Leffler knows things. Let's forward him this thing. So I got this political mailer forwarded, and it deals with our local Senate race and our local state senator who had an employee that, according to this, he let go due to allegations of sexual harassment, blah, 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 yakety schmackety. Now, the problem here, in my opinion, is that this political mailer is trying to go after the state senator. But in order to do that, they drag this other guy through the mud. Now, if you've gotten this political mailer, you know what I'm talking about. If not, I'm not gonna broadcast it. I'm not gonna repeat it because I don't like it. I think it's ugly. I know this guy, and I think it's probably unfair. I don't know all the details, and that's how I roll. When I don't know the details, I keep things on the DL. So. But in order to get at the state senator, basically they take this other guy who's just a normal, average guy with a job and a wife and kids and probably a dog, I don't know. And they're like dragging him through the mud. And this is what politics has become. Doesn't matter what you destroy as long as, while destroying it, you piss off your enemies. We need to learn to be better than that. I would like for us to learn to be better than that. And maybe that's something that we will all learn to do while we're here. Because romper, stomper, bomper, boo. This is the wrong kind of brew. I could go for a beer, but it's 12:52 in the p.m. on Wednesday, and I got to work tonight. So there will not be beer. By the way, tomorrow's show will not be live. You'll just have to catch it on the YouTube or maybe I'll record it and put it on Ustream as well. I should, so that I have the duplicity. Yes, duplicity. Multiplicity. Ever see that movie? It's a good movie. Anyway, but it will not be live. However, it will be prepared before 12:30. I guess that means I have to do it tonight. I don't know. Tomorrow's show at some point will be on the internet. You'll be able to watch it. But it will not be live at 12:30. I'm sorry. I want to do this every day live at 12:30, but sometimes life gets in the way. To those of you who tuned in, thank you for tuning in. To those of you who are watching the recording, thank you to you as well. To those of you who voted in the poll, awesome. I'll figure out how to read it later. And to those of you who didn't tweet me, why you no tweet? Brewing with Scott Leffler. I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.